episode 2, season 2, Mom Proof.
Yep.
Staying Bothered is this series.
It is the series.
That was kind of a mouthful.
That's
I think
a
I did it,
lot.
though. I got it.
Yeah.
You
Oh
did
my God,
nail
look
it.
at our shirts. I mean, y'all.
Oh,
look at the merch. It's cute.
I like it though because it could be our uniform for this.
Oh my God,
Okay,
we don't have
sorry
to worry about what
There we go. No, she's got other colors she needs to bring.
Yeah,
us.
I'll bring the other colors and we can just totally switch them out.
that's
So you can go to jamieemilio.com and get
buy your
a Staying Bothered
Get your
t-shirt.
merch.
Listen, I am going to do it. I'm going to market it. Yeah.
Why not?
Hey, but this is fun. A whole series on Staying Bothered. We got to, it can be light too. I know it sounds like it's a little bit heavy, staying bothered and really doing something about it that's positive. That's what we're going to talk about and how to stay passionate about making change. Real change, by the way. Real change.
Yeah.
What are things that we can do to make the world a better
verb.
place?
You said it. It's a verb.
It is.
It is an action.
It's staying
the
bothered.
word
It means really
ing.
doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a
I
verb.
read something the other day that was really interesting. And I did not know this, and maybe you guys know, but June is Men's Mental Awareness Month.
Good for you to find that out. I did not know that.
I read that.
I don't
and-
need it.
It was mental awareness.
For the
Right.
whole-
But
yeah.
apparently June is dedicated to men
Okay.
or young men,
Okay.
all men of all ages. But I thought it was interesting because the person who posted it was bothered. He was bothered that nobody knew about this. And he said, what about us men? We also deserve to be, acknowledged for being on top of our mental health.
Wow. I love
And
it.
I thought
Wow, that's
that
pretty
was very
profound and
inspirational.
very
Yeah.
cool. I
Yeah.
think that's great.
And I thought it was great because I have a son, and
Yeah.
I mean he's young, but we talk about being healthy, and and that could be something, or that's something that I know bothers you a lot, is being able to start mental awareness at elementary school levels.
For sure. It seems like such a hot topic, right? Social emotional became kind of like an ouch word in the last several years. But I think we're moving more toward calling it, because of what it is, mental health literacy. And so what we really want to do is teach people how to speak about this health as you would understanding cancer, or you would if you had diabetes. You would have a definition, you would have symptoms, they would be met or not. You might seek treatment in a variety of ways, including medication. But that mental health literacy piece of people, I think, are less like, than they were when you say social emotional learning. It became too tied in with other concepts that are so politicized. But so I'm excited about, like there's finally maybe an avenue in to the public school system here in our own community that doesn't seem as threatening, I think, to them, but we'll find out. We're in the process now of approaching with that new angle.
Well, that's really
So
cool. I mean, that's so important. Just
Thanks.
think if kids didn't have to wait, or if parents didn't automatically think the kid's gotten so bad, now I have to get them in counseling.
Or you said,
If
like,
you
I
have
jumped into
tools-
treatment
Yeah.
right off.
Yeah. I wish I had a different route of doing that.
What if it was just part, which I guess is what you're trying to do, it's just part of their curriculum,
Correct.
right?
Well, that's what we would like,
Yes.
right? I mean,
And just
obviously.
like they get taught English, math, geometry, whatnot. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't use geometry every day, but I sure can use some mental skills
Thank you.
Right?
every day.
Self-regulation, learning how to, that, which just means calm yourself down, ways to release tension that are healthy. How, just you've mentioned this when you talked about the panic attack you'd
Right.
experienced, and then you had done one of the best interventions, right? The
Right.
5 things you can see,
Yeah.
touch, smell, and so forth to kind of center yourself. But yeah, we would want to teach really basic things. Harvard has the science of happiness. That class fills up. You're on a waiting list for years to get into this class. Google it. I think you're allowed
I've
to take
seen that.
it
I've
free
seen
online
that. I've
right
seen
now.
that. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. I also know about Matthew McConaughey's classes. Apparently,
Ooh.
2-year wait or
Are you
something.
kidding me? So I
Where?
missed it and you guys
At
took
UT.
it. Oh, the one.
No, not the class that we did
Not the
on
class you
Zoom.
did on- yeah.
He and I were in a private chat room.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. Oh, you wish.
No.
Matthew.
It was good though. You know what? It's interesting. So Matthew McConaughey actually, he really walks his walk. Like
You want to get on this show, people.
he takes care of himself mentally,
That'd be
emotionally,
Right?
doing the check-ins, all
His
those things.
family is very private. They seem like they have a happily based.
Who knows what goes on behind
That's
closed doors,
true.
but I
That's-
love his attitude,
love.
energy, and message. And I
Yes.
think if we can continue to model that kind of behavior for our kids, I know one of the things, just popped in my head that he says is you can really tell a man's character by the way he treats his wife. And I think, or best modeling to his kids, right? That's what we want to continue to do as we're bothered about things.
Yes.
Where's the passion? Where's the plan for action?
Do you think our like kids leaving for college seem passionate about anything right now? I don't know. I didn't mean to put a tone.
Like their
hey, are your
plans or
kids
our
passionate
plans?
about
about-
making change in the
about
world?
change, about just you see them feeling motivated right now.
I know
they're having a lot of
that
fun. I see that.
My daughter is going to SDSU, and part of the school's entry program, she had to write down like things that she wanted to change in the world, or like what are the types of things that you want to study that will help you in the future make a change in the world. So I think because of that, she was kind of forced to write a prompt about it and think about it. And I mean, it took a while, right? I mean, it's a big question. Like even
That's
if people ask
huge.
you
It's
that,
a huge question.
people ask me that. I'm
Can
like,
we see her paper sometimes to get? I mean, that'd be so. I mean,
I
I
have
wouldn't
to
read
ask
it.
her permission.
Ask her. I was like, Miss Kathleen wants to read it. She was an English teacher too. Just like that sounds amazing that she would be able to respond to that. I
Yeah.
mean, she's so.
But I think that that's
advanced.
something that that would be something interesting that schools could do, right? Like kind of get people thinking along that line.
The social connection that leads to good, like the social network that would actually promote kindness. And wouldn't that be awesome? Like if social media became like really what it was intended, I think, to be initially.
To stay connected in a positive way.
In a positive way and create ideas.
You know, I've seen kids through my years and doing Caring for Cambodia that do birthday parties, and they ask their friends to bring $10 and it all goes to, and I saw a lot of this in Singapore. There was a lot of families that really wanted to give because some of the parents couldn't work because of the work situation, work permits and what have you. So there were a bunch of really smart moms and some dads out there, the roles were reversed, that were really wanting to do good. So they modeled that behavior for their kids. Hey, you want to do some good? Let's go to Cambodia, or let's check this out.
That's cool.
And I wonder if we do enough of that around our neck of the woods, of really encouraging our kids.
It's like a lot of service and kindness. Like it comes out through action. It looks like service, right?
Right.
Packing the food for my starving children.
Yeah.
Going to Cambodia to actually build a school.
Yeah.
How many schools do y'all have over there now?
21 schools.
Wow.
I know. 20 years.
And
That's amazing.
I know, picture. I say that to people like she rebuilt the infrastructure, the educational infrastructure of a small country. They're just like, what?
And how wild is it that that's so true? The only wrong part about that statement is just it wasn't me. It was hundreds and thousands of people.
Good one.
I mean, to be a part of that and know that you can make real change in the world. I mean, it's hard sometimes. You wonder if you're really hitting the mark. But just seeing others that give. And so I have kids that do a 5K run or a birthday party or, you know, their own little bake sale and lemonades. It's so cute, y'all, to see the little kids do that.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that
I do have a
my
question,
kids
though.
do that.
And do you ever get people ask you, like, why Cambodia and not your own backyard?
That's a good question.
I do get that. And I would say, number one, I didn't choose Cambodia. Cambodia chose me. Yeah. I went there on vacation. Yeah. I did not expect to leave with an intention to build 21 schools and change the face of education. Like I was going on vacation. But, you know, because I lived so close to Cambodia at the time, it's just connected. And once you're in, you're in. And I'll say it's just God's work. I did not plan it.
I feel that.
And what people don't know is that we may do quite a few things in our own backyard too that others don't know about, you know. But what's pretty cool is I can get more done in our Cambodia schools than I can in my own school district.
Are you
kind of a
knocking
bummer.
at public education?
No, I love public
Don't get me
education.
going.
It's just the red tape, right?
Gosh.
I mean, you know, we have first graders in Cambodia where they all go out and meditate before they go in the classroom. They arrive at school, they all get organized, they go out and they meditate for a few minutes. Can you imagine if our kids did that? Holy cow.
Yeah. Well,
try and get your kid to do that in the morning. That's a good. How many kids could really do it?
They were trained.
Yeah.
I mean, if you incorporated it.
My son who was in fourth grade, he'll be in fifth. His teacher in fourth grade, he wanted to be 30 minutes late to school every day. And so I asked him why, and he said because in the morning, the first 30 minutes was freeing your mind. So they would sit in the class in silence as they would, like, I guess she was trying to get them to meditate, but she told them it was freeing their mind. And he was like, he's 80.
Was this it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my gosh.
And he
That's
was
pretty
like,
cool.
he was like, I don't want to go because I don't understand, So I was like, well, I think they're trying to get you to
30 minutes
meditate.
is a long
That's a long
Yeah.
time. And you should call
5
it,
minutes.
I don't know about the freeing your
I
mind, but I
know.
love the intention.
But like her intention was good.
That's
but
so
I thought,
good.
well,
30
there's people out
minutes.
there. Maybe she was bothered and she was trying to change
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
right?
That's
Yeah.
impressive. Well, and I don't
See,
think
kudos to somebody doing
someone
something a
there
little
at that
different.
elementary.
That's- Yeah, kindness.
Oh, and the
Compassion,
kids. I love that
yeah.
he communicated to you, though, that he didn't like it
He
so
wanted to
much.
be late. I was like, okay.
What did you do?
Well, I get him there on time, but I mean, I just told him, I said, well, sometimes just close your eyes, because I can't meditate either. So, I mean, I'm not going to
Yeah.
tell him, do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, just close your eyes and take a little rest. Because sometimes if you just rest, close your eyes and just kind of don't think about meditating, just kind of think about breathing,
Yeah,
then, you'll have a
Release.
good effect from it.
that's awesome. And I think the elementary schools want to do things. I think there are teachers that are just innately so good like that, and they're already connecting in
Yeah,
a way.
that's
and-
nice.
But yeah, it is hard to get in there. And so, I mean, we're going to not stop pushing. I mean, working on other programming right now, some that might include a law that we'd like to bring up to the Senate. I totally want y'all to look at that, though. We need eyes on that. But just able to get in front of students is such a blessing. That's what I guess. That's the hard nut to crack in public ed is access to the kids, even though you want to have the programming there, but if it doesn't go through the principal and the teachers down to the kids, it's not going to happen. So
back to
Yeah, it's
parenting
hard.
then.
Yeah, parents
we
have a
really
big
have
role.
to do.
big time.
We've got to be there. We've got to be present. I think one of the things I took away from the last year of being with the last kid going through school is that I was present. I chose not to travel. I chose
You did.
to do different things at home. And I feel really good about that. And I wish I'd done more of that with my other kids.
Because you
Just,
see,
even just for a year.
Just-
Just take a year and do it. Yeah.
so your takeaway would be
Just being present.
present, which I
Yeah.
think is so hard for people. What if you work outside of the house?
Yeah.
I'm what ifing on that
yeah.
one. I mean, that's a big deal for
Yeah.
people, right? And then the
But
exhaustion.
I think even just present mentally to just check in
Totally.
and to not, but this is me, right? I'm the ultimate optimist. I'm not going to let things worry me. If you're talking about me, you're giving somebody else a break. Great. I don't give a shit. So, it took
one.
years to train your mind
That's
to
the
think that
56-year-old thing. Remember?
See?
Life at 56. That's what
Little slice of heaven at
You're coming there,
57.
you're
I got
getting
it
there.
figured out. I'm wise now. I got this shit down.
Well, so what?
I don't know what to do with it all.
Oh, because you're just so
Yeah, you
impressive.
do. You're
Yes.
doing a podcast.
I am doing
writing
it.
Books.
You're right. You're right.
That was the one thing we were bothered about what was going on around us, which is why we started this podcast, right? Mom
exactly
Proof,
right.
Because we wanted to share and make a change, even if it's just for one person or two people, whatever the case may be. It's just help everybody out.
Right.
And just by sharing our own stuff, hopefully something will trigger something in somebody else.
I hope
Hopefully
so. That's
trigger
how we
in a
learn.
positive way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
God, they're
Sorry, guys.
crazy women. We are a bunch of crazy moms.
So think about like you're 18 and you're launching into this world and you're getting all the messages from social media, the parents, your friend groups. Sometimes that's actually in person, amazingly. What do you think would be on their mind as the thing that like weighs heaviest on their minds? And it may be dependent on each kid, but just in the society.
I know
Or have they
one thing
expressed it?
is probably, will I have a job when I get out of school? Because right now the big boom is the AI, right?
Oh my gosh,
Like
right?
AI, like we just drove by Whataburger, was it Whataburger Digital Kitchen or something?
What?
That's being built over in Lakeway,
Oh,
or
man.
not Lakeway, in Westlake, excuse
Okay,
me.
of course.
And we drove by, and so me and my daughter were like, what is that? So she Googled it, and it was basically, apparently there's no people there, and you do orders over, like I guess, online, and then you go and pick it up. So there's actually no interaction with anybody.
The robots are building or putting the food together.
I don't know, but I didn't want to dig deep into it because I
really
was
deep
driving.
breath right now.
Y'all,
Taking a really
this is
deep
when we
breath.
got to stay in the present. Number one, it hurts me that somebody's messing with
just feel
Whataburger.
anxious.
I know. That really
I just
is,
got
that,
anxious.
That bothers me.
I got
I'm
bothered.
bothered
Well,
about
she was
Whataburger.
bothered, and she said, "What does this mean? What's happening?" Like, like she totally,
She
because she's
got it.
already concerned about the whole AI thing, and people telling her, "Oh, you're probably not going to have a job when you get out of school because all of the
That's
automation
nice
is
of whoever
going on."
decided to share that little bit of knowledge for them. That's not even true.
How about we just stay in the
Yeah,
present?
no,
You
I
can
know.
plan, but
Yeah.
again, that's that being anxious and not being able to control what
Yeah.
you can't see.
But
That's
that's
right,
one thing
that's
that
right.
does bother her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting though. So maybe that's a good conversation to bring back up to her as we try to teach what it feels like to have that fire lit. I feel like I felt that way when I was becoming a teacher. And so I knew, and maybe Avery felt, I don't know, I don't know if our daughters are lit up about the next career step. Mine's thinking of accounting.
Wow, that's super fun.
That sounds exciting.
Oh, yeah.
But think about it, if we know that the brain receives dopamine hits from things that matter, and it's different than the brain sensing fear, right? So that's a bother too, but that's like that fight or flight. So this one's different. It's going to be more in the frontal lobe, and you're literally going to have something spark, and there'll be emotional tie to it too. So you're getting the frontal idea, but then an emotional hit with the dopamine. That's kind of what it looks like to be inside staying bothered. But if we can kind of teach them, because it sounds like she got a little bit jazzed right there.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what would you do? How could you create a solution, or what would you like to do about it? I don't know. I'm curious what she
I
might
don't
say.
know. That's what I said. Well, what I said was, maybe that's what you should do, is come up with a plan on what classes to take, or how could you incorporate, instead of looking at it as a negative,
As a
let's see,
threat.
how can we incorporate what's happening with the future trends? I don't know. But that's a lot
Really a good
to
question.
take in.
That is a
But
lot.
but I just don't know. I mean, and it doesn't have to be that big. But I'm just wondering along the way. Like, let's say my young man likes to play basketball, but maybe he's noticing he might be hitting a ceiling, and where that's leading, whether it's college, NBA. I want him to know there's other ways to get sparks and a bother that's positive than basketball. And so
That's like a whole series in and of itself. It's
getting
so
into athletes' mental health.
Oh yeah, and then when they stop, it's a big
I can
deal.
bring a
and
person on the
I've
show that-
already had all my kids started in sports, and I loved watching it. I miss that the most.
Pretty fun.
And they were so good, but they get to a point where they just didn't want to do it. And I can hear my ex and I saying, "You have so much potential, don't you know?" And it doesn't matter. That's not what they need to hear at all, right? Go do you. The world needs more of who you were meant to be,
There's the letter
not
U's,
who we are
Want-
saying
Right.
you want to be.
right?
So that goes into that whole being bothered about mental wellness, supporting the kids as they make choices. I think I know that Ave is just super excited right now about the possibilities of college, the independence.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's a good positive
Yeah.
vibe. That could change tomorrow.
I doubt it, but yeah,
I don't know, but I think that's her.
That's her current.
That's her vibe.
Space. Yeah,
right now.
I think so. Right?
Yeah.
You kind of feel that from your kiddo.
Yeah, but they're excited to adult.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like Jamie said, they're kind of doing it already. And kudos, probably, I think we're all probably having them take the reins this summer pretty independently and just, hey, what are you going to be doing today? When will I see you later? And
It is important to do those letting go.
it's so
things.
great.
Yeah.
The other
Really, we
one
have
in the house, though, because the age is so close, thinks that that's exactly the way it's supposed to be at 16. So your guy at 10, isn't as interested maybe, and you don't have
Can
another
I
one.
just mention I'm done?
Shut
I'm
it.
done. I am
That is
done.
so wrong. That's called gloating for anybody that
I just couldn't help it. I'm not going to have
You
anyone
can't
at
help
home.
it.
No, yesterday I was by the pool with no kids around. I'm like, I love this life right here. I freaking love my life. And with my boyfriend
That's
right
your
there
next
and no
book.
kids.
That's your next book.
I love my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be.
Write it.
Yeah, I might. So we can almost wrap up on that. So to look forward to our next sesh, this is going to be so fun. We'll keep talking about how to stay bothered and do something really positive with that bother.
That's right.
Yeah.
And hopefully tap into parenting strategies that still allow us to feel connected with our young adults or our up and coming adults in a way that keeps us feeling motivated, not irritated. Is that our
Yeah,
tagline?
motivated, not irritated. I like
I
it.
like
Just
that.
came up with it.
Well, it's about those conscious efforts of being positive and looking for the good, right? We have to do it.
Yeah, we have to. But let's end with a question.
good one.
Let me
Sandra
see.
and her
I don't know.
Like Sandra.
What are you going to bring a game with the cards and everything?
Ooh, let's bring a
We
game
do.
next time.
Next
Good
time we
idea.
need to
Okay,
bring the
Jules would love
game.
that. Plug Jules
let's
Design
do this
Bar.
at
Yeah.
Jules Design Bar. Let's just go
Okay,
there
fine.
and film.
Oh,
Okay.
that would be funny, except for there's a lot of noise
Yeah,
and a lot of
yeah.
alcohol.
We'll bring Jules here.
That may work
That
a
would
little better.
cute.
All right. So, if how would you relate yourself to, or if you were which emoji, I guess,
Yes.
would you relate most to?
Okay. Are we allowed to use Bitmojis too, or just the?
Oh, now it's going to
Okay,
get all
okay, just the
complicated.
emoji
Oh, mine
or
aren't
the
that good. I only use just the regular ones. I do the lips for
Did you kiss
Eric. Yeah, I'm always doing that.
The kiss, like kiss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the lips?
Not the face,
Kiss?
just the lips, the sexy lips.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't want to
Yeah, no, right.
I like
Oh, yeah,
a
not the other
hearts for just just saying I love everything. No, but like if your kid tells you something, you give them a little heart. If the kid gives me a heart, I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's just a feel good emoji for me.
I always relate more to the one with where they're like, just because I'm always so suspicious about everything.
You are.
She is a private investigator. If
I
y'all
know.
didn't know, she
Yeah.
writes out at a certain price for friends.
This is a good way to wrap up. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be the kiss one. But
I'll do the heart. You do
yeah,
your kiss and you
so
do your,
sweet. So that's a wrap. Until next time.
Bye, guys.
Ciao.